Okay. So this workshop is going to be introduction to 3D modeling and animation. It'll be divided into several parts. I'll first be going over like the basic terminology of the softwares and what you need to know, and then I'll be going over the types of 3D modeling, then the softwares and applications you need to use to get started yourself. And then I'll be going into Blender and going over the basic formatting of the software. So the basics of 3D modeling, the terms and stuff.
So a vertex. First off, a vertex is it's a singular point on a polyhedron. So an edge, which is a straight line connecting two vertices. I'll be showing you these terms in Blender soon. A face is a flat surface surrounded by edges. A mesh 3D object consisting of polygons. So like any 3D object in a scene is a mesh. Nodes are blocks containing data attached to a mesh. So they affect the physical appearance of the geometry in the mesh. The texture is an image applied as a material to the mesh. So, wait. So this is Blender. It's a free 3D software that you can get yourself. So the first term was vertice. So all of these dots, each one of them is a vertex. Lines connecting them are called edges. Each one of these rectangular things are faces. They don't have to be rectangular. They can also be like contain more than 4 edges or less. This whole thing is a mesh, and nodes are uh, like block things that they affect the physical appearance of the mesh. And like if I remove this, then the whole thing becomes black. And this whole thing is a texture that is applied to the geometry of the thing. Also, if you have any questions, you can type them in chat, like as I present this. So I'll be going over the types of 3D modeling. So the first one is CAD or computer aided design. It's based on 2D sketches that you can like extrude into 3D designs. It's for more precise things, and it's mainly used in the field of mechanical engineering. I won't be going over the softwares and into detail about CAD. I just wanted to let you guys know there's like 2 types of 3D modeling. Yeah. And so the main type of 3D modeling that I'll be focusing on in this workshop thing is just basic 3D modeling. It's for more abstract things. It's for like sculpting and stuff. Use 3 shapes, and there's no like 2D sketch workflow. And it's the type used in filmmaking, special effects, visualization, product design, and that kind of stuff. So there are many softwares that you can use to get started yourself in 3D modeling and things. So the first software that you can use is called 3ds Max. All of these softwares are you have to pay to get, which is unfortunate, but there is one that is good, which is Blender that I'll be showing at the end. Um, it's one of two 3D modeling softwares owned by Autodesk. Uh, it was originally it was owned by another company, but it was bought by Autodesk. So it's mainly used for architectural design, uh, and it integrates well with AutoCAD, which is good for more technical things, more like precise design and stuff. It's also used for product design, and it's overall like a good software. So this is an image of what it looks like inside the software. This is the so this is the 3D layout, I guess. So this there's no objects in the scene, but like if there was, it'd be displayed here. These are all the tools and stuff. I don't use 3D SVAC, so I don't know like the details of the stuff, but in mostly every software, the layout is basically the same. So yeah. So if you want to get started with 3ds Max, these are some good YouTube channels to watch. They have good tutorials and beginner things. So the next software is Maya. I answered the question. So question was, is it better for a face to be rectangular or triangular? It really doesn't matter because when you're rendering it, the render engine automatically makes every rectangle into a triangle. So it's easier to work with rectangles when you're modeling. So it just makes everything more simple, I guess. So Maya is the second software owned by Autodesk. So Autodesk, they had two softwares and they needed to make like one's made for like a different industry. So yeah. So this one is Maya is used most in films and stuff. It's used for like in a lot of animated films. I think DreamWorks uses it. I don't know about any other companies that use it, but I know I think it's used for DreamWorks. It has really powerful animation tools and visual effects. So this is an example of Maya, and its layout is basically the same. You have your 3D layout, the material and the nodes. This is the second window for the layout. And yeah, it's sort of the same, basically. So if you want to get started in Maya, these are two good YouTube channels to watch for tutorials. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, this was another one. I forgot to delete it. I didn't, yeah. Oh, wait. I guess I had an animation for this. Okay, whatever. So Cinema 4D, I don't know which company owns it, but it's not Autodesk. So it's great for motion graphics. That's its like forte. It's also good for product design, and it's, in my opinion, the easiest software to get started in. The layout is really easy to understand. Yeah. So this is example of software. So as you can see, it's really easy to understand. These are the objects, I'm pretty sure. These are the textures that you can apply to the object. And these are the, like if you, I don't have the software, but like you can move these arrows and to move the object like on the Z, X, or Y axis. So it's really easy to understand. And these are on the top, these are the other work workspaces that you can use. So I only know one good Cinema 4D channel because I don't use it that much, use it at all. So it's Punisher. So Houdini, this is in my opinion, the most difficult software to get started in because it's a very different workflow than the other ones. Oh wait, sorry. It's more data driven. It's more easy to understand once I show you like the actual software. It's very good for simulations. It's used in films and special effects too. Yeah. So this is the software, the layout, and is here. So as you can see here, it's very data driven, and it's not like all the other softwares that I've shown and I'm about to show. The learning curve is very steep. So if you're just getting started in 3D modeling, I don't recommend this one. But if you're more like advanced, this is really good for animation and visual effects and simulations, especially simulations. These are some good YouTube channels that you can watch. And the last one is Blender. Blender is the software that I use. The best part about it is it's free. All the other ones that I showed, yeah, it costs several, like, I think around like $50 or something or more to buy. Blender is open source and free. It has the biggest community, all of them, and there are many YouTube channels and tutorials I can watch to get started. It's not really like the best for anything, but it can do everything. It has good animation tools. You can use it for product design, motion graphics, and the simulations aren't that good, but it's like you can still use it if you're starting. So this is an example inside Blender. So this is the 3D layout. Over here is the materials that are applied to it. Shouldn't really worry about this because these are just like technical settings and you won't use it most of the time. So if you're getting started into Blender, the first tutorial that I would recommend is Blender Guru. He has a really good donut tutorial that basically everyone who gets started in Blender first watches. There's Default Cube, Grant Abbott, and Southern Shoddy, which are all really good for. Default Cube is for more like advanced Blender tutorials and stuff. So those are all the softwares that I'll be going into. There's probably more, but those are all the good ones that I know. So there are many uses for 3D modeling once you like, if you want to know like what technical uses there are. There's the film industry. You can make animated films with them, like Pixar and that stuff. There's also it's also used in films that are played by like actual humans. It's for you can use 3D for special effects, like explosions and stuff like that. You can also make your own short films with 3D animation if you want. The next one is 3D printing. So there's basically an option in every 3D software to convert your project into a .stl file, which you can put into a printing software, and then you can, if you have a 3D printer at home, you can print it out, which is pretty cool. You can also put it into AutoCAD and make it like better, I guess, for a 3D printer to print, add supports and stuff like that. There's also, it's really good in the product design, like ads for like products and stuff like that. architecture. If you're an architecture student and you can use the software to make renders of your ideas, which is really cool. You also have, I guess, like cars goes into product design, and so yeah, that's um, my slideshows. I'll be going into Blender now and showing you going over the basic like what each workspace is used for. So this is Blender. Yeah. So this could be a shorter workshop if you haven't like noticed, because I don't want to go too much in detail about Blender and get confusing. So this is the layout section, as you can see in the top, sort of top left. This is, if you're a beginner, you'll be spending around 90% of your time in this workspace. Um, it's where you add 3D meshes into it and you can edit it and stuff like that. Um, so uh, there's a lot of primitives that you can add in Blender. There's plane, cube, circle, these stuff. There's also a monkey primitive, which is pretty cool. Uh, so these are on the side are like um, if you press this, you can drag this to move it along the x-axis, z and y. Wait, y-axis, which is really good for beginners. This is the rotating gimmick. So rotate it on the y, x, z, that sort of stuff. Um, there's also annotate ones. You can like sketch your ideas into like right onto the thing, and it'll be it's good for sketching out your ideas before you actually start modeling. Then you can trace your sketch with actual 3D geometry, which is pretty cool. Um, so yeah, over here are the settings. This is more technical stuff. Most of these tabs you won't use that much. So over here is the render engine. Blender has 3 render engines. You'll mostly be using cycles because that's like ray tracing and it's the most realistic one. Eevee is just a faster version of cycles. And Workbench is just there's not really much use for it. These are the settings. You won't really be touching most of them, so don't worry about that. So this is the output, like when you're rendering where you want your finished render to go to, the resolution, if you're doing an animation, how many frames per second it has, the start frame, end frame, and that stuff, which folder goes into, that sort of thing. This tab doesn't really have much use except for compositing, which you won't get too much into when you're first starting. Neither is this. So this tab is for adding like background color to your scene. So if you want the background color to be like, I don't know, more brighter, you can change it with this. So this, you can also edit the position of the object geometry with this X location, Y location, and Z location, the rotation, stuff like that. These aren't that important either. So modifiers. Modifiers are kind of like nodes in which they contain data that edit the physical appearance of the object. So if I add like a subdivision surface, it just adds more geometry to the model so it looks smoother in a sense. If I apply it, you can see there's way more vertices and edges and faces than there were before. This is the particle workspace. So you can add a particle system to it. So like hair. It's good for like character modeling if you want hair on your character. Uh, so this is the rigid body, which is physics section. So if you Blunder's simulations in physics aren't the best, but it's good. Like it works, which is what I'm saying. So if I like play this, it follows. You can play around with this and make like Rube Goldberg machines with it, which is pretty cool. This isn't that important. No, there's this. So this is the where you apply materials to your model. So you can change the color of it, roughness, which is makes it more reflective or not reflective. Make it metallic and stuff like that. Last tab isn't important either. So next tab is the modeling tab, which puts you directly into edit mode, which is so edit mode is where you can manipulate the vertices and geometry to make it like more what you want, I guess. So you can make it like longer and stuff. There's not really much use for this workspace since you can go into edit mode directly in the layout tab. So yeah. So sculpting, what the name implies, you can sculpt onto the geometry, which is pretty cool. This is mainly used for making character models, and yeah, that's basically it. So UV editing, this is where you can hand paint textures that you want to apply to your model. So like if you want your character to be like have a shirt, you can paint the shirt texture right in Blender, which is pretty cool. Oh wait, no wait, the texture painting is for that. Sorry, I got mixed up. UV editing is where you can basically UV unwrap your model, which is it's kind of hard to explain. It's like each face is corresponding to a face in the UV editing tab, and the texture gets projected onto the geometry based on the UV map. So yeah. Shading, this is I think the second most important tab out of all of these workspaces. So this is where you can add nodes to make the texture more interesting. So if I add like a noise texture into the color, you can see it's like different colors and stuff like that. Yeah. You can also add multiple materials to this. So if I want like say this section to be a different color, my computer's sort of slow. You can assign it to the other material, and then it'll be a different color than the other part, I guess. So animation, this is also an important workspace. So everything is set up for you. So this is where you want there's two layouts. On the left side, you want a fixed view of your model, so you can see like what it looks like from a distance and stuff. This is where you want to be animating it. So say if I wanted to move to the left, I guess, then it moves to the left. On the bottom, this is a timeline, I guess. So on frame, numbers on top correspond to the frame it's on. So right now it's on frame number 1. and at frame number 33, it'll be there. So Blender has an automatic thing that makes it move. Yeah. This is I don't know if there's two timelines here. Must be like glitch or something. I don't know. So there's not much use for this tab. I've never used it before, so compositing. This is where you can add like effects to your image and make it look better, like color balancing and stuff like that. So the last one is scripting. So you can add scripts to Blender to automate it. I'm pretty sure it only supports Python and Java right now, but I'm not too sure. Uh, I don't code, so I don't know how to use this tab. So yeah, that's basically it, I guess. You can ask questions in chat if you have any. Just wait a bit. Uh, if there, I don't think there are any questions. So this is the end of the workshop. You can go if you want to. If you have any questions, you can stay. I'll answer them. I'll just end the meeting now since there doesn't seem to be any questions. So thanks everyone for coming and bye.